Hi, Poema. Excuse me, I have your test here. So let's go over the questions that you missed. So the first one was question 4, and it says, giving 4 representations of the same data below. We have a verbal description, an equation, a table, and a graph. It says, which 2 representations are considered to only be partial representations? And so then you can see in the answer choices here, the one that you should have picked is the graph and the table. Question 7 says the table shows the side lengths and perimeters of 4 squares. Which equation represents the relationship between the side length x and the perimeter y? So in this case, we need to calculate the slope. We know that if the side length is 0 on a shape, the perimeter will also be 0 on that shape. So there is no y-intercept. The y-intercept would be 0. So what we're saying here is that on none of these equations should we have a number in the back. So if we take y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? So I'm going to pick, this is going to be my x1, y1, and that point will be my x2, y2. I'm going to do 34 minus 18 on top, and then I'm going to do 8.5 minus 4.5 on the bottom. And remember, you can use a calculator. 34 minus 18, I believe, is 16. Yep, 16. And 8.5 minus 4.5 is 4. 16 over 4 is 4. So we get y equals 4x. The y-intercept here again would be 0 because when there's no side length, there's also no perimeter. We don't have a shape in that case. You can't have perimeter if you don't have side length. Question 8 asks which one's a function. Remember, functions cannot have any x values repeated. So there's 2 2's in the first one. There's 2 -8's and 2 1's. There's 4 5's. Definitely can't be that one. It's this last one because there are no repeated x values. X values cannot repeat in a function. What's the rate of change? Rate of change is the same thing as slope. So you take any 2 ordered pairs you want. I'll do this one is 1 and this one is 2, so 5 minus 5 over 2 minus 1, that's 0 over 1, or just 0. The rate of change here is 0. Paige and Joanne's workbook is torn, and one of the questions is cut off. She can only read part of the first question. In which quadrant would you find point P if the coordinates are -5, blank? Assuming that it's not on an axis, what are the possible answers? Okay, love this one. When we start thinking about x and y axes and the quadrants, ordered pairs here have a positive x and a positive y. Ordered pairs here have a negative x and a positive y if I go left and up. Here we're going left and down, that's negative, negative. And here we're going right and down, that's positive, negative. Remember that quadrants are named using Roman numerals in a counterclockwise manner starting in the upper right-hand corner. Don't ask me who decided that, I have no idea. So if we want -5, that's the x value, that's the first ordered pair. So we're looking here, either quadrants 2 or 3 are going to have the negative x. If it's helpful, maybe write that picture down somewhere in a notebook. Table represents a linear function. The rate of change between 2 points is -5. What is the rate of change between the next 2 points? So here we go, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm doing -5 minus 0 over -2 minus -3. Be really careful and watch your signs. -5 minus 0 is -5. -2 minus a negative becomes plus a positive. -2 plus 3 is 1, so we get -5 as the rate of change. And since it's linear, they did tell us it was a straight line. We didn't even actually have to calculate that because when it's a straight line, the rate of change is the same all the way through. I wasn't paying close enough attention. 19, which graph is generated by this table of values? So now we're just looking to see where things are plotted correctly. What'd you pick? -5, that's -2, that's -3, -4. Okay, so remember that y values that are positive go up. So we should be going left 5 and up 2, left 3 and up 4, left 1 and up 1, and then just, right. Sorry, I wrote 4. Right 4 because it's positive, so that's this one here. We definitely need to know how to plot points, so that's something if you're struggling with that, we may have to go back and address some other things. So this is a fairly basic concept that we should know by 8th grade, so I don't know if you just got things a little mixed up, but positive y values go up, not down, and that's what you picked, were all the ones that went down. Graph below displays the wrist circumferences and heights of 6 students in Alyssa's classroom. Is the height of these students a function of their wrist circumference? So do any x values repeat? Look at the ordered pairs, okay? 14.2, 13.8, 15.2, 15.6, 16 and 16. No, because the wrist circumference of 16 is paired with 2 different heights. This means that x's repeat, and they cannot do that in a function. We don't care about the y's. We do not care about the y's at all. It doesn't matter if everybody is 151 centimeters tall. That does not matter. It's only if the x values repeat. Remember the vertical line test? If I draw a vertical line right here, I hit both of those points because they both are at 16 on the x-axis. I think we maybe discussed this in one of your other videos that I made earlier on in the unit. We only care about the x's. And then I think the last one you missed says, is the function represented by the table linear? Is it linear? So now we're looking at the rate of change. So we can use the table to say, okay, I'm going up 1, we're going up 1, we're going up 1. Now this has to change by the same thing. -6 to 1, that's up 7. This is only up 5, and that's up 6. So if the x's change by the same constant, then the y's have to change by the same constant also. So they would, maybe these would all have to be +7, or they would all have to be +5, or they would all have to be +6. So no, it is not a function, or sorry, it is not linear. It is a function. It is not linear because it doesn't have a constant rate of change. That's the only way to get a straight line. Okay, sorry, I know that was a little bit quick, but I'm on my prep period here. You can go ahead and retake this, I think. I will add a retake because I can't remember on tests if you only get 1 to start or if you do get 3, like with quizzes. Reach out to me if you need any additional help, though. Have a good weekend.